Hello there and welcome to Pulp Media Podcast with your hosts Richard Langridge, Sean McCrow, Sam Cox and myself, Matt Denyer. This week's one's going to be quite a simple one. Recently we all went to see the new It film, the original 1990 and obviously the most recent 2017. We thought we'd give it a review and obviously if you've got any thoughts on us, do let us know. But otherwise, what do we all think?
Why are you laughing, Rich?
These fucking glasses just crack me up. We saw it. When was it? Last week?
Yeah, last week. Another release date, in fact.
Opening night, we went and saw it, and
booked tickets well in advance for that one.
it was. Yeah, I mean, just at the top of the episode, yeah, really did like it. Was it everything that they said it would be? Probably not. I think there was not as big an emphasis on horror as I was led to believe.
I feel like you've literally just summed the entire movie up. Opening section.
Well, no,
I wasn't expecting so much comedy. Like it was good. Like I loved the humor in it. I just wasn't expecting
that
so
much.
much. Yeah, so much of it. But it was good.
That's the thing. A lot of it did come from old Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah.
From
Richie.
Stranger Things, yeah, Richie.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I know that because we've written it down. So.
Yeah.
on our trusty whiteboard.
It's on the whiteboard over it, yeah. Leaning against Matt's TV.
I think
this is not a Slipshot production.
I think one of the things they did really well was that they kept a lot of the... Obviously, the drain scene is like the one scene that everyone knows, I think, from it.
Yeah,
like,
they fucked that up.
Yeah, like they kept...
I think they improved on it.
I think they fucked...
How did they fuck up?
There's I remember walking out the cinema saying this to you, Sam, but like, they didn't fuck it up. This is going to lead into my biggest, steady microphone, my biggest sort of bugbear with the film, which is the CGI. But we'll get back to that in a sec. The problem with the intro scene was that they pretty much kept it exactly like the original miniseries. There was a moment right before, spoiler alert, it.
Oh yeah, this is going to be riddled with spoilers.
Can you call it a spoiler?
Because
it's
if you haven't seen it, just
don't. Yeah,
just don't listen to
well,
the podcast.
Don't listen to this.
In the I guess prologue, little Denborough, what was his name? The little boy, Georgie Denborough.
Yeah.
Boat goes down the sewer drain. It's down there. Pennywise is down there. Excuse me. And, it's all that coffee, and ends up getting his arm bitten off. But there is a moment where the woman comes out onto a porch and she's kind of looking at the kid like, what's he doing, playing in the drain with that weird kid again, And there's a moment where she should have, in my eyes, come back out, called to him, and he kind of, as his arm was half in the drain, looked up, and that's when it should have come and Pennywise should have come out and bit him. But the way it done, it kind of built up and then grabbed. I don't know. To me, it was a missed opportunity.
I'm going to completely disagree with you.
I do think the biting of the arm was a bit sudden.
No,
I think they could have. Like, they didn't really need to show him biting the arm off. Like, I for an opening scene, I just would have. I was expecting him just to be like pulled into it, and you wouldn't see him. Obviously, you'd see like the scene where it's from the side and like he's got the teeth on, but I didn't expect you to actually see him bite his arm off. I thought he'd just get dragged in.
Playing devil's advocate on that, in every horror film you've seen, or there will always be a scene where something's about to happen, suspense, the camera pans away to, in this case, the old woman or whatever, and then it goes back and it's like you hear a kid scream and there's just a trail of blood. With this, at least they went into the graphic content and him crawling on the floor and was like, oh, fuck. Like,
yeah,
like you felt the helplessness.
I actually really
enjoyed it. Had the helpless.
No, I think it was pretty cheap. I mean, did you get?
I wouldn't say it was cheap. I see where you're coming from, but I wouldn't say it was cheap.
There was just nothing I expected. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the gist of what would happen. For a rebooting
like
of not a franchise, but a film. I really think they should have tried to surprise people there rather than play it so safe. Having better CGI and doing the same thing, I felt it could have been improved on. It wasn't a terrible scene.
The CGI let it down.
With the woman seeing him, I don't think that should have been a problem, because I think if she'd have seen him being pulled into the drain...
That's not what I meant. Just to lay this out so you can see what I mean, there's a moment where the music is building up to this big crescendo as his hand's getting closer and closer to the drain, and then it's building up, and then it bites him. But it's so... Obvious. There's no misdirection. It's just like, this kid's going to get bitten. And then he gets bitten. It would have been more surprising for me if there was like, at the last moment, the music drops, the woman calls out to him and he looks up, so he's distracted. And that's when it seeks his opportunity. Because he's an opportunist,
Yeah,
I've
but
got to
if the
stop
woman's
calling him
wa-
it
if-
Pennywise.
If the woman's watching, then she would have seen the whole thing happen. And been
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm
you know,
thinking.
yeah, but
so-
why would that?
Because it's meant to be a mystery.
Kid got swallowed by a drain.
Yeah, it's meant to be. It's meant to be.
I see that point, but in the book, that doesn't happen. In the other one, he just gets his arm pulled off and he lays there in the rain and dies. But again, different film. So,
But no, I don't think the woman should have seen it happen. I don't think she should have called out. I like the idea of when she looks away. That's when, because that's a parent's
it doesn't
biggest fear.
I mean, it doesn't have to be that. He just has to be distracted for some
it's a
reason.
parent's biggest fear. It's a neighbor's biggest fear. Like you look away from the local kid playing, then they're gone. And it's just like the story. You never know what the actual answer is.
Not my biggest fear. My neighbours don't have kids.
I think like one of the things that they did really, really well in this was, like you say, the iconic scenes, the drain scene and things like that. They kept a few of them in there, but they didn't just rehash the original ones. They put new elements to them. Even like
There was a lot of chopping and swapping around of stuff.
yeah. Like I know it sounds, but if you haven't seen the original, that wouldn't affect how much you enjoyed the film. Does
But
that
see,
mean,
that's where it differs for me, and probably for you as well, Sam. Is because I've read the book. Whenever a mini TV series or new film comes out based on the book, I always refer back to the book because that's how I know it best. Because I've read that book probably 3-4 times, so I know like the characters mostly in and out. The story. The thing that did throw me a little bit, but which is to be expected, was because in the book it kind of goes back and forth in time. So you're seeing. As the book, you know what I mean, Sam? As it progresses,
as
you're
adults and then as
seeing them as
kids,
kids and then as
the
adults.
Yeah.
And it kind of takes place in parallel. Whereas in this, it's just the kids. So, but I actually think they melded that together really well. It didn't feel out of place, you know?
I think like the one thing, as much as there was maybe too much of it, like you say, with the humor and things like that, there was a lot of it. But
I love the humour. I think that was the best part of the
I
film.
think the fact
Yeah,
that
I think that was most of the charm came from the humour.
they got the relationship of the kids and the banter back and forth. That was absolutely spot on. Like, you know, every reference that Richie could make to
Someone's mum.
someone's mum was just there, like so
Yeah,
easy.
where they're in the fat kid's room. Can't remember, what's his name?
Ben Hanscom.
Ben,
Yeah. And he's like saying that Derry used to be like a old beaver.
He's like, still is, right, boys?
like no one laughed.
Yeah, that, what's his name? Finn Wolfhard.
Finn Wolfhard, yeah.
Nailed that role.
I just want to say
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
that
right.
kid is like out of all the kid actors I've seen recently, he's gonna be the one that's gonna make it like huge even when he's older.
Yeah.
You can just tell
He-
he doesn't do drugs and that.
This
play
this
out.
Well,
this,
not yet.
this might just be me.
Yeah, probably on the
He
horizon.
really reminds me in a way. It's not even like the way he looks or anything like that, but just his characterization and the way he is with like being a character. He really reminds me of Benedict Cumberbatch. And I honestly couldn't tell you
Finn
why.
Wolfhard?
Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you
In
why.
no way can I say that.
But like even when you've seen like build-ups to films and things like that, and when he's doing like the shorter, like even in Stranger Things and things like that, the way he approaches a character and all that, you can tell he's looked into it more than just being a kid actor. You know, when kid actors are like the obvious one being like in like Star Wars Episode 1, the kid that played Anakin Skywalker.
I always forget his name.
Complete retard. Like at the end of the day, like you watch it.
I would just like to point out that Matt's views do in no way represent those.
But no, but he is
hate
like
you wanna spread towards
you
him.
watch him in that film, and he's just a child actor that's been given a script, and he's like, oh,
He's just a
okay.
normal kid.
Exactly, yeah. Whereas with some,
Yeah,
I know
but
this guy's a
that
bit
kid
older.
was at a disadvantage because it wasn't just any script; it was a George Lucas script, which is like the worst script you could get.
It's the most genius kind of script.
Like he had
And then
nothing to work
Midichlorians,
with.
it just went
It
down.
was, yeah, it was,
but that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know what it is. Maybe it's his methods. And
I
things
do
like
agree
that,
with you
but
in the
like,
sense
he's
that
a
there is
very
a way,
intellectual
his
actor.
approach to acting, there is a sort of sense of self you get about him, like he's maybe a little bit more aware.
It just sounds
of
like
the
he's
world around
he's
him.
an informed actor. It looks like he's actually. I know it sounds weird, but if you would talk to any of them and you'd be like, "Oh, have you seen the original It?" I expect him to go, "Yeah, I fucking loved it."
I don't know
Like-
about that, but I definitely think there's like a little bit more. I don't know, presence. Is
Yeah.
that-
I mean, I
He's
think
definitely got charisma.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
But that's
I
it.
just
I
think
mean,
he's a naturally talented.
yeah. Oh, without
actor.
doubt.
But then
Without doubt.
even the kid that played Bill, I've never seen him in anything else. Has anyone?
Yeah, no. Do you know? Actually, all the kids in this film, I thought were really,
were brilliant.
Really good,
yeah.
And the whole Losers Club, which wasn't really elaborated on as much as it could
No,
have.
was like
no,
one
that was a
line.
major
Yeah.
thing in the
Yeah.
books
Yeah.
and the original. Like,
But like, it actually leads kind of into my next point, which is the over sexualization of the kids.
I knew this happened. This is like Richard's monologue now of child pornography.
They cut out the rape scene, Rich, all right?
Every time, even when the trailers were coming, it was just like, yeah, in the book, there's like children
There
orgies
is-
and shit
yeah,
like this.
let's just break this down for the audience in case you haven't
like-
read the book. Basically, in the
sit
book,
back
Take a-
for
yeah.
20 minutes.
It's like a sip
in the
of
book.
coffee.
Well, let me summarize it for you guys because nobody wants to talk about child sex longer than they have to, right? There is a scene in the book. There's two scenes in the book where kids have sex. One where the bully gets a hand job from another bully who's a bit of a weirdo, completely out of the blue, doesn't have any relevance to the story. But then Stephen King was on a lot of drugs, so that kind
He
of
did it in a
explains
lot of
that.
his books.
Yeah, and there's another scene where, spoiler alert, at the end of the first encounter with it, where they sort of beat it and banish it into the underworld or wherever. They're trapped in the sewer and they can't get out. And
So
the
they have an
girl,
orgy.
Beverly, decides, shit, if you will fuck me, bear in mind these are kids, our telepathic powers will come back. Which again isn't mentioned in the movie, by the way. The power bestowed on us by the turtle. Turtle wasn't explained in the movie. So there's another thing.
Let's leave that aside for a minute.
Yeah.
Just
And so there's a whole sex thing. But they left, thankfully, because it was irrelevant and unnecessary. They left all that out, but there was still an element within, like there's a bit where they're all sunbathing, and I know they're only kids, and I know it's pretty innocent in that sense, but like there's like all in their pants, she's in like a bra and knickers.
Yeah, I
or
think that bit
whatever.
was a bit unnecessary.
And it was like, I don't really want to look at that.
yeah,
you know?
I know what you mean.
Not that I don't think it's relevant, or obviously
Actually,
the kids playing
well,
in a.
While we're talking about that scene, Beverly, as played by Sophia Lillis. I don't know how to say her name properly.
You've written it down, man. You tell me.
Yeah,
it's your
I think it's
handwriting.
Sophia Lillis. But anyway, as soon as I saw her face, I was just like, if they do not choose Amy Adams to play her as the adult, I will be like shocked because she looks like a
Amy
young
Adams or
Beverly.
Rachel Adams, Sam? I just want to...
No, Amy Adams.
Okay.
Amy Adams. Yeah.
Just want to be
Call
sure.
her beautiful Ginge.
But no, if they don't use her to play Beverly, I will be.
They
shocked
have
'cause-
cast.
Oh really?
They have cast the
Is it?
the adults.
Do you know who it is?
No idea. I don't think so. I think they're all
Probably not.
unknowns.
Amy
actually.
Adams,
No, it's probably something completely different.
So there's
I-
your point fucked, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. No, we don't know yet. We don't know yet.
They could ruin it and cast Jack Black as the fat kid.
Actually, in the story's lore, Ben Hanscom grows up to be a very successful, very lean architect.
Yeah.
So it's
So Ryan Reynolds.
So
Yeah, probably.
Oh, please don't.
Ryan Reynolds.
Who would you want? Like who? Like I know. I said like Richie's like Benedict Cumberbatch, but who would you want to be grown?
It's really nothing. Like,
I
I don't think anyone is seeing this.
don't know why I got that idea from. It just
Again, I would just like to stress the Matt's views do not represent our own. No, I mean to be honest, from what I understand, the people in set to star as the adult versions of the kids are all unknowns, or if not unknowns, they're not big
that's
names,
good.
right?
I'd prefer that. That'd be good.
Let's talk about it though himself, Pennywise. What do you guys think? Because I think Bill Skarsgård done a fucking amazing
Yeah,
job.
I think he
I
did.
thought he was
amazing,
brilliant. Because when the trailer dropped and you see the little bit in the sewer and he talks, I was like, oh, no, I don't know about the voice. It's a bit, but I thought he fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
loved it.
I loved the bit where spoiler, where the
we're gone.
where
past
the
that.
we're past that
where the
territory,
window
right?
opened and he started dancing like the
at the end of the movie.
the carriage falls apart. It's like
Yeah, that was actually really good. That was actually really
It
good.
actually reminded me of like a Sam Raimi film.
yeah,
You know, like
yeah.
the
It
end
had
of
that feel to it.
Drag Me to
Drag Me to
Hell.
Hell.
You know, yeah.
The Mexican guy on the table. Yeah.
and where he's in the grass with the hand and he's just like waving it.
What?
Yeah, where he's in the, he's in the
course.
bushes.
Yeah,
Have you seen
yeah.
the
That's
GIF?
brilliant.
Have you seen the GIF?
The
of that?
Forrest Gump
With
one.
the Forrest Gump.
Gump. You got Tom Hanks like, and he's just in the grass like.
But I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I like the bit in the kitchen where he's like, I'm not real enough for you. I was real enough for Georgie. And it's just like, oh, damn.
Oh, snap.
Fuck you, Billy.
Do you know what? One of the bits that absolutely got me was the fact that they absolutely fucking nailed the soundtrack. Like when they had the rock fight and that like 80s metal.
that was
no way.
amazing.
I did like the sounds and everything, all the
Yeah.
soundscapes they used and the laughing clowny bit.
Can we talk about CGI now?
Oh god.
Wait.
Can we lean into that for a bit?
Yeah, but I have a contesting point on the CGI, but I'll wait
Okay.
until you've.
Well, my point is the CGI was just terrible. I really didn't think it was good at all. I
bit-
think it was used too much. I think it was unconvincing when it was used.
Yeah, I thought
And it
some of the
just
style
detracted
of it
from
was-
every scene it was in.
Yeah,
I really,
which is a shame because in the trailer, you know where he's in the basement and the basement's flooded and he comes out.
brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, in the trailer, obviously they haven't put the post CGI on it, so it's just Bill Skarsgård's movements being all floppy and running towards him.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really good bit in the trailer.
Fucking
And then
really good,
you watch
yeah.
the film and they've sped it up, and it
don't
was
look
so
right.
distracting. It was
Yeah.
like this has actually ruined it.
But then I got the feeling when I was watching that I should have been watching it in 3D. Did no one else get that? I don't know if it was just because we were so close to the screen, but I literally felt like a lot of the bits that were in the film, like, you know, obviously the garage scene where they're going through the projector
Actually, the
and
garage
things like
scene, that would have been really good
I was
in
like,
3D,
if
yeah.
that, well, even when like every
what,
time,
the
every
projector,
time he
yeah.
jumped out of
Yeah.
somewhere, or every time he came right up to the camera, or any of the obvious shock scenes, I thought if I was watching that in 3D, I literally would have had to
Actually,
change
that
my
would've been
underwear
really good.
so many fucking times.
Because I did think the garage scene, I like the garage scene, but again, the CGI did kind of make it feel really clunky.
No,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
CGI with the woman's face, the woman with the weird face that picked on the Jewish kid. I forget his name. Wyatt Olaf Stanley, the scared one. Stanley.
What when are you talking about? Picture?
You know, in the painting.
Oh, in the
yeah,
painting.
the
Yeah,
one
yeah.
that comes after him. I thought that was bad. I thought the headless child that comes after.
The headless child.
No, the headless. Yeah, because
Yeah.
the Ben, he's looking in the book and he sees like a
That's
child's
right.
head.
That's
and
right.
he
That's
imagines
it.
the
Yeah,
body
yeah,
coming
yeah.
up from the library. That was bad.
I think that was too bad.
No, but I thought that was a bit. You've seen that in other films. So what I actually think that the cleanest bit of CGI was actually the garage scene where he comes out, because they've clearly just done the Skarsgård and just done it and just inverted it into the garage.
That's still the
I think
freakiest
that was
scene in it
easy.
was the
Yeah.
basement.
Basement.
When he went down to the basement when
Oh, yeah,
Georgie
that
was
was.
down in the basement and he comes
It
out
was,
the water.
and then
that was the
again, they-
creepiest bit.
They start changing Georgie's face and it goes all manky and everything. It was like,
And the CGI takes over. Yeah,
I hate it when other horror films do that type of shit. So it did put me off a bit. But I didn't think it didn't detract from the film too much. Like that's just nitpicking, really, for me.
I think long story short, as a film, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well put together. I think the actors were absolutely on point. Like you say, the only one I was a bit with, unfortunately, was Mike.
Oh, Chosen Jacob.
Chosen Jacobs. I think I don't know if he just felt a bit older than all the other kids and all like that, and I don't know if he's written that way.
Actually, I think that might be a good thing though.
yeah, I
He's
don't
not
know.
a farmer. He has like
But-
killed a bunch of cattle. So
I know it's
Mike.
this might just be me,
yeah.
but when he was in his own scenes, you know, like when he was being scared by like outside the butcher's gate and things like that, he was great. And then when he was with all the other kids, he was almost like upstaged.
yeah,
like, do you know,
the
like-
presence
I think the
there.
problem with it is that he didn't come into the story too late, but he
There was no relationship in there.
met the characters too late in the
Yeah,
story.
I
But
agree with
that-
that.
obviously, in the book, Mike is one of the central characters, one of the biggest characters, really, because when they grow up, everybody moves away from Derry. He stays and he becomes like the local town
He's like the historian, yeah.
So because the effect of the town, everybody else forgets and he remembers. But yeah, there is some stuff in the film which they left out, which kind of bugged me because the way it was sold to me, at least in interviews and the pre-movie kind of buzz about it, they were saying it was a lot more faithful to the book. But I don't really think it was any more faithful than
No,
the
I think
miniseries.
it's
Curry one.
yeah.
Because there's a big missed opportunity with Henry Bowers, the bully. You see him go down into the sewer, and one of the big parts of the book is that he, when he's in the sewer, he sees it. Pennywise, fucking keep saying it, and it shocks him so bad, turns his hair white, and drives him out of the sewer, and
Well,
as they're adults,
they
he
are
comes
doing
back as a big
the second
character.
chapter, so you never
Yeah.
know. It's something
yeah,
that
but
they
it
can
seems like
still
that,
bring
that
back.
should have been included.
I see what you
His
mean,
fate
yeah.
should have been,
Yeah.
Even the original Tim Curry version, when one of the bullies gets pulled backwards into the pipe,
Yeah,
I thought that
it's
scene
good.
was so good. I would love to have seen that in this film, and I was actually really disappointed they
The
didn't.
thing
put
is,
it in
one of
there.
the I think one of the best things about the new version was that it had a good time span. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to go on, and I think you can't, with the book being so big and spanning obviously the two different time
Yeah, but
periods.
Stephen King is a waffler.
Yeah, I know he's a waffler.
He'll take 20 paragraphs just to say what colour the sky
but
was.
I think they did the right amount in the right amount of time.
Yeah, I
this
agree.
film didn't feel long. I got to the
Yeah.
end and I was like, oh, actually, I do want to watch the next. It was,
You didn't feel exhausted by it.
yeah. You didn't get to it and be like, oh, is it over yet? Is it over yet? Like literally the whole way through, I was like, this is really cool. I was,
The pacing of the film was really good as well.
Brilliant,
Like
yeah.
there weren't these like lingering spaces in
pacing was
between,
spot on, yeah.
in
Yeah, I
between
agree.
sets and everything. I thought I just thought it was really all round good film. I think it deserves all the success that it's got.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving forward, I would like to see, just for my own personal opinion,
Benedict Cumberbatch is Richie.
yeah, 'cause we
amazing.
can all see the similarity there.
I said it was just me. I said it was my personal opinion.
I'd like to see less CGI.
Yeah,
Or
more
maybe
practical effects.
More practical and just a better usage of CGI.
Yeah.
I want to see, now that these kids are older, I want to see maybe more of an older themed horror, if that makes any sense. The horror in this one was very childish.
Apparently that's what he's going to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because obviously it's been praised for all the humour that's in it. But apparently the director said in the second chapter that he's it's going to go darker. It's going to go obviously with the flashbacks. It's going to have slight the same tone, but he said that he wants to do it quite a lot darker.
That's good.
Yeah, because I think that would be. I mean, it was a 15. Did anyone else know that going?
When it came, no, I thought it was going to be an 18.
So did I.
I thought it was
going to
be
be fucking hard.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I mean, it's good in that sense because more people are going to see it, but
Yeah.
it still seems a bit like one of the. Because when you were a kid, everyone was like, oh, "What's a favourite scary film?" A lot of people said It because it was just,
I don't know why, because the original
It's a terrible
it's
film.
terrible.
It's
It is
bad.
pretty terrible.
Puppet Master.
But I'll say one thing: Tim Curry is still great in it.
Yeah,
when
he
you
was
watching
the
it back
best thing
now,
in it.
you watch him and you're like, "Fuck, that guy's great
So
in it."
wait. Who's better, Tim Curry or Bill Skarsgård?
I don't think you can compare.
You
them.
can't. No, you can't compare.
It's a
it.
completely different approach.
Although the only bit that I did compare was the bit where he goes the beep beep Richie, because Tim Curry did it really well.
Yeah,
The beep beep Richie. Whereas Skarsgård, it was kind of like beep beep.
But it's a different approach.
It really let
The
me
way
down. I was like, oh,
the way
waiting
I
for
kind of
Phil for that.
intuited that their approach was that this version of Pennywise is a much younger version because he's trying to imitate, he's trying to get close to kids, so he's trying to appear as one. Whereas the Tim Curry version of Pennywise was more of like a child predator.
Yeah.
You know, he's like,
It's like Tim Curry. It's like you could expect him just to tip up in some beaten up van and stuff, like just chucking Haribo out at him.
yeah.
Which is what I think the drain scene with Skarsgård. I thought he played that a lot better because he did have this innocence and like when he's like chuckling along with Georgie, I thought was really creepy.
One thing I thought was absolutely brilliant about the drain scene in the opening of It, the original 1990 version, had Tim Curry do the sad face
Behind the bed sheet.
when the bed sheets go.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Bill Skarsgård did the same in the sewer though. When he's like,
Whereas it
when-
almost spaces out.
yeah, he
It's
was.
just-
I was just like,
I thought that
cool.
was brilliant.
That's so good.
Oh, there's another point I forgot to bring up, which I actually think was way better in this new version of It, which I didn't even have in the previous one. But you know the whole thing, you will float down here,
yeah.
float down here. There was never any elaboration on that, even in the book or the miniseries, from the best of my knowledge, you know, from what I remember. But in this one, you go down there and they're all floating.
And they're all floating,
I thought
yeah.
that was
Yeah,
fucking
that's-
cool.
yeah.
man.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
like,
that
oh, it
was
makes sense
really
now.
cool. Yeah.
It's not just a good tagline.
See, but that actually let me down a little bit because they're all floating up in the shaft of the sewer. I actually wanted them to be like, well, I thought it was a reference because they're all floating dead bodies in the sewer. That's what I thought it was about. That's why I thought like we all float down.
Misdirection,
here, like,
Sam.
I know, but it really threw me actually.
Yeah.
But
I fucking really dug it, and the way he'd kind of been collecting, it looked like he'd been collecting for like decades.
Yeah,
right?
so many, like, kids' bodies floating out
centuries.
there and
Yeah,
stuff.
I thought it was really, really good.
that was brilliant.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Like,
Although I would have liked to have seen a werewolf in there.
Werewolf would have been good. Yeah,
Because obviously Richie is afraid of werewolves
right,
after
yeah.
watching like
Yeah.
I was a teenage
They
werewolf or some
changed
shit like that.
Yeah.
There is a
changed
scene
that.
where like in the kitchen where like, you see like this I wouldn't say it's a werewolf hand, but where the glove's kind of coming out and it's
Yeah.
this claw thing. But yeah, I would have liked to see a werewolf, not just, you know, a zombie.
it might have just been me, and
And a
again,
leper.
it's been a very.
leper was
it's
good.
it's been a
Leper was
long
good.
time, and I didn't read. I think I read the book like once. I didn't read it religiously like you, but
I never read the book. I don't read.
I'll get you a picture
We'll get a
version.
comic of it.
But the bullies in this film were really like, if bullies did that in our school, you get put away in a fucking mental institution.
Oh yeah,
Cutting
yeah.
people's stomach
this
with
is
knives
this
and
is a
shit,
small
like-
a small rural town in like upstate Maine.
That does not make it right.
I don't know.
Mate, you go to,
but
you go
it's
to
a
a village
different
in
time
Devon,
area.
you get so
It was just a bit weird. It's like, oh, we're going to bully a kid. Most people, if you're going to bully a kid, like if he's fat, you pull his shirt up and slap his so he gets pink.
Slap his titties.
Yeah, you don't fucking cut him with a knife and then.
Yeah, we don't actually do that, everyone.
like,
Yeah, over
No,
here in England, we
it was over the
slap
top. It was over
it
the
was
top.
really like I was a bit like fucking hell.
But no, I mean, I don't
then-
know. I don't know. I think
This is America where they go shoot their schools up, man. I
Yeah.
think slashing a fat kid's tummy is. I think that's a bit tame.
Yeah.
to be
Took a
honest.
dark turn.
But then
Normally it's me who does that shit. Well,
again, did anyone notice how what's the main bully's name? I keep forgetting his
Henry
name.
Bowers.
Right, yeah. So did anyone notice how in the scenes towards his demise at the end, like he was getting more and more like Pennywise, like his voice was more gruff.
No,
and,
yeah,
like-
yeah. The whole point of that is that he's been influenced. You know, it was
Right.
him who was influenced to kill his dad.
Yeah,
It was him who is being used as almost like not a conduit, like a what's the word I'm looking for?
Conduit.
A puppet. No, he's being used as a puppet by Pennywise because Pennywise is when the kids are all together using the telepathic mind powers. He's not strong enough to beat him, so he's using Henry Bowers as like his
Conduit.
his right hand. It's a fucking conduit. It's not a conduit. It's a vessel.
His vessel. There we go.
And but there was just no.
Conduit.
They should have played on that more. He should have had a bigger role, really.
I think he should have.
I think he played his role really well,
Yeah.
like really well.
Yeah, I mean that mullet was fucking kick-ass.
No, but that's what I was
I fucking love a mullet.
Yeah, I know you do. Sean.
Matt had a point. Like, there's one scene where he's actually looking down the well, and what's his bloody name?
I remember
Mike
because
was climbing
you turned
down.
to me and said like,
He looks like Pennywise. 'Cause his hair's been pulled back and it's all like wet and greasy, and like because obviously you got Skarsgård playing it, and his hair's really pulled back. He's got like really large forehead.
Yeah, five
Like
head.
the kid, the bully Henry, he actually looks like Skarsgård as dressed up.
Even
as,
in his characteristics, the way he was moving and it was a bit erratic.
Yeah, it's
and his
really
voice,
good.
I was like, that's actually quite creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, that was one of those things. Like there were so many little bits in the film that just added to it so much. That's what I loved about it. Every time you were like, "Oh, that's cool, that's cool." There was another bit where you're like, "Oh," and then the soundtrack during the rock fight, and then the like, it was just so good. Like, but that's what I mean. It's all those little bits that you're thinking, if that wasn't right, I probably would have ruined the film for me. Like, you know,
And I did
No, I
like the bit
think
with when Pennywise like opens his face up.
Oh yeah.
Although I did kind of think it's like,
What bit's that?
now it's the Demogorgon.
yeah.
It's like, okay, it's Demogorgon. You know that where he's got
At the end, where he
Beth.
opens.
Is it Beth? Yeah,
Beverly,
where he's got Beverly.
Beverly, yeah.
And he's saying like, she's like, "Oh, I'm not afraid." He's like, "Oh, you will be." And like his head just kind of goes back
yeah.
and opens up, and it's got all those.
you know what the lights are? It's the dead lights.
the deadlights.
You seen the Dead Zone? No. Okay, never mind.
I think we might have to do like a Stephen King episode.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I mentioned the turtle. Basically, in the Dark Tower,
'Cause that's his enemy.
Because all of Stephen King books kind of it's like a shared universe, right? So they all like Pennywise appears in the Tommyknockers briefly. He's mentioned in the Dark Tower series. Yeah, there's a bit where they two guys drive out of the town in Tommyknockers. And they're hallucinating because they're getting further away from the spaceship. Sorry, this is going to be really fucking random to anyone who hasn't read the book or seen the film. But he thinks he's hallucinating and he sees a clown waving to him from a storm drain, and it's obviously Pennywise.
Yeah.
And but he's actually he's a god, I think, if I remember rightly. And the turtle who speaks to the children is what give the children the telepathic powers. Is another god. And
See, I
this
think
is-
they could have easily explained that in the movie.
That wouldn't have deterred the story whatsoever.
the turtle has no bearing. I think at one point.
Is I guess the little reference is obviously with when
toy.
Billy grabs a little Lego tortoise. and-
Does he?
Yeah, he goes into
Lego
George's room
turtle.
and there's a little turtle made out of Lego.
Yeah.
And then he goes down.
I mean, they couldn't make
that's
it as
right,
glaringly
yeah,
obvious
yeah.
as like it's chasing someone and decks over a turtle that just happens to be crossing the street. I think that would have been a bit too in your face, but
Damn that other god.
no one else late in the fact that, you know, Pennywise lives in a drain and his enemy's a turtle, something to do with Teenage Mutant
Yeah,
Ninja
because if they
Turtles.
did that, then,
I'm
like,
just saying.
you get into like Dreamcatcher territory where at the end you get those
Oh,
big
God.
two fucking like Doddards turns into an alien and you're just like, what the fuck am I watching
fucking
now?
great.
Oh, Mr.
Yeah,
Grey,
it's like,
yeah.
this is just
Yeah,
It's taken
just-
turn
he
for the
just-
worst.
He just, what do they call that? A Deus Ex Machina? I don't know.
Like, all in all,
No, it's not really.
Maybe.
the thing is they're setting it at the moment to break records for horror films.
Yeah,
Which is
apparently.
surprisingly, because
And-
it's
and
not
deve-
really
des-
a horror film in my
No.
eyes.
Well, no,
No.
but deservedly so, I would still say, as a film.
yeah. It deserves
that.
everything.
It's brilliant.
It's got a
been
coming
good.
of age kind of feel to it. You know,
I'll Stand By Me thing being reenacted again.
Yeah.
Or that relationship between like the kids that get together and become friends and all that. But that's like typical Stephen King though. He loves
Yeah.
like
Kids.
There's just a lot.
Had to do it.
Hey, Rich has read it like 3 times. He's already bookmarked those chapters.
That's what I like.
Do you know what? Do you know what though? Do you know
I
what's-
get older, the high
do you know
school
what's
girls
funny?
stay
I
the
think-
same age.
I
Yes,
think this
they
is the
do.
first film that we have all agreed unanimously on that we all enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To different degrees, but yeah.
But
I mean, it's definitely. I know it's my fucking favorite word ever, but missed opportunity. There's a lot of missed
That's 2
opportunities.
words.
Fuck off, Sam.
was the missed opportunity some sort of was that sort of some sort of Stephen King pun?
And he's
there?
the writer.
No, but like all in all, I really did. Two things. The spider. You kind of see him
Very
emerging
brief,
at the
yeah.
end with the
Oh,
spider
yeah,
legs
where he's
coming
got
out.
his
I thought
arms.
that was really
Yeah.
fucking cool. And I like that they didn't actually make him go full spider. Never go full.
Was that
never go
two
full spider.
things, or was that one thing?
And the other thing I was going to say, which I'm now completely blanked because you asked me on.
This is 2 things.
The how often they showed Pennywise might have been just a tad too much. It would have been
See,
better.
I think no, I
if
didn't.
he was
Yeah,
like
I
the
don't
shark
agree
in
with
No,
Jaws.
I think they
I
did
don't think
him.
so.
I think they did him just amount because even when I was watching it, obviously everyone was praising Skarsgård. I was like, "Oh, he's amazing at it. He's really creepy," and I'm like, "Give me more."
Yeah.
But I'm
agree.
glad
yeah.
that they didn't.
Yeah.
Because it made the scenes that he was in that much more, special. And
Actually, I have one big downside to the end of the movie, and that's when they're all like weighing in on him. They're all kicking him apart with like their baseball bat.
fucking clown.
Yeah, that's wicked.
What's that?
When Richie is just like saying, "Oh, you punched me in the face. You made me do this, made me do that. And now I'm gonna have to kill this fucking clown."
Hitting piece of the baseball bat.
Yeah.
But I would have actually preferred that scene to be a little, better actually, because like there's a bit where
I really love that scene.
there's a bit where literally one of them runs up to Pennywise, and it's like a full like second. And, like Pennywise didn't even put up his hands, nothing. He sees it coming, he's just like,
Yeah, I mean, this is something that's been around
smack.
for like millennia. I'm pretty sure he picked up some sparring lessons.
yeah. I think it could have been a little bit
Guys,
quicker. A bit of fast
Ironically, he was paralysed in fear.
Oh.
See what I did there? Yeah, old switcheroo. Yeah. Look at that tumbleweed blow by. Don't mind that, everyone.
That is my mind blown, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, everyone enjoy the film.
Everyone enjoyed it, yeah.
The only thing that I didn't enjoy, because I saw it, obviously we all saw it in Cineworld, it's like the only one there, and the sound was fucking awful.
No, really?
In the cinema screen. Yeah, it was like,
That was amazing.
mine was rubbish. Fucking terrible. Like, all the way through the trailers, just like, this better pick up. And then it didn't.
What do you mean it was too quiet, or
It literally sounded like it was being played from a pair of fucking laptop speakers.
fucking hell?
That's
So
a
pissed
shame. That's such a
Oh,
shame.
mate, ours was brilliant the whole way
Oh,
through. You should have
rubbish.
come with us.
Yeah.
But all in all,
All in all, we all agree. We liked it. Looking forward to part 2.
Should we give it our own rating out of 10?
I'd still go with a strong 9, I think.
What would I give it out of 10?
I'd say 8.5, 9. I think.
I'd give it. I'd give it an 8.
no, I'd give
A
it
strong 8.
a 9.
Yeah.
Maybe even a 9.5.
Ooh, dang.
Bold.
See, I'd also give it a 9. So I think roughly we're looking at a 9-ish here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
9 out of-
Strong 8 from me, but yeah.
9
I'll
out
have
of
to
10
go.
overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're saying 8.75.
It's just a 9 out of 10.
It's a 9 out of 10.
8.95.
Closer to the 9.
It's got to be
Bollocks.
yeah.
It's a 9 out of 10.
Actually, yeah. I
If
mean,
you haven't seen it, go
8.94.
and see it.
what's a strong 8?
It's a strong 8.
Yeah.
It's like a weak 8, but just stronger.
Okay.
It's
so
like
it's like
Pamela
leaning
Anderson,
towards
Pamela Anderson in
8.1.
her prime.
It's very,
that's
it's very
barbed
nearly a
wire.
9.
If you had it in standard font, would it be bold and underlined or just bold?
Yeah.
Just
But that's a good question, Sean. Tune in next week to find out.
and with that, I guess we should wrap up.
We should wrap this.
Go see it. Good.
Yeah.
Go see it. Good film.
Good. And we will catch you on the flip side.
Until next time, listeners.
Where does it go?